Yeah, I can tell you that at the onset, as I stated then, and I've stated every day since, is the Julie's death is my #1 priority. I've also spoken with Superintendent Hackett, the officer in charge of the Integrated Homicide Investigation Team, and Deputy Commissioner Callens, who oversees the entire province of British Columbia, and we are completely united in our commitment to that particular investigation. The Integrated Homicide Team has carriage of that matter, and they haven't ultimately ended in a place yet where they've secured evidence to bring a prosecution against the persons that are responsible. But I know that they're committed to that investigation, and these investigations sometimes take time. They are our most sensational, horrific crime, and the charge approval standard is a substantial standard. Yeah, I think with respect to the stats for Newton, I think it's important to recognize that they represent a snapshot in time, and we don't necessarily always compare apples to apples. And in this particular case, there has been a slight increase in property crime, but when you compare first quarter 2014 to first quarter 2013, there's actually a decrease in violent crime and assaults. Yeah, when there's a reconciliation process of the investigations as you work through, quite often it's common for the scoring or the status of a file to change. So when you compare apples to apples, the crimes reported is fairly consistent. We have seen an increase in property crime, which we absolutely need to be responsive to and respectful of. And I would attribute that in part to 3 significant investigations we had underway. One was a group of males that were recently charged with a series of sexual assaults, that there was a significant public safety interest in our contributing significant resources to things like surveillance and ensuring that we didn't have another victim. We also had another male who was released from jail who ultimately was followed to a shooting where he shot somebody and attempted to take their lives. And when we have people like that, and it's very rare that we have those types of people that are wandering our streets, but when we do, we have an ultimate responsibility to react accordingly, no different than if somebody went into a hospital. Sometimes you'll get triaged and you'll be in there in an hour, sometimes you'll be there for 4 or 5 hours. And in this particular case, we thought it was important for us to do everything in our capacity to mitigate the safety concerns in our city. So the people who typically target prolific offenders, the types of people that drive our property crimes, have now been redeployed back to their jobs, and I'm confident that you'll see a correction with respect to our property crimes. I think we always see peaks and valleys with respect to homicides in particular. The persons who commit homicide, they know no boundaries, they know no clock, they know no time frame. And I think there have been a variety of factors that could be in part contributing to the reduction in the crime, not limited to the work of the Combined Forces Special Enforcement Unit who target those involved in the gang or criminal lifestyle. The Integrated Homicide Investigation Team has had some significant success in some of their active investigations. And then in addition to that, we've taken a fairly aggressive approach with respect to ensuring that we're visible and out there on the streets. So it's a combination of a number of factors, but I'm always cautious to get too comfortable. I think it's important for us to continue to examine ways to improve, to find efficiencies in what we're doing, and to engage those people that live in our communities and those people that are engaged in the criminal lifestyle as well.